Hi guys, today I'm going to be doing my updated eyebrow tutorial, as I'm sure you already read from the title. A lot of you guys have been requesting it, so I finally sat down to do it. And I think from the last tutorial, I maybe only added one extra step that I'm doing now and switched up the products just a little bit, but pretty much I don't really ever change the way I do my eyebrows, just other than the products. But I did add one extra step. So I hope you guys enjoy this video and let's get to it. Okay, so first I brush my brow hair, the little that I have, and a little bit different than you normally would see. Most people brush their hairs in an upward motion all the way through. I only do that in the first half of my eyebrow, and then the second half I brush them downwards. That's just how I've always been doing it, so they're kind of like trained to go that way, and I kind of slowed down the video so you guys can see, because there are some sparse areas that I have and the ends are pretty much non-existent, so we got some work to do. So for the brush that I usually use, it's this really old MAC brush that I've had forever. It's just a simple angled brush. This is the one I use most often, but I also really like and will switch from this Sigma Angled Brow E75 brush. I really like this one too because it's a little bit smaller. Now, I may be the only person that actually does not use a brow pencil on my eyebrows. I'm not really comfortable using them. I feel like I can get a more natural look with eyeshadow, so that's just always what I used on my eyebrows. The one that I use most often, as you can see, this palette is pretty beat up. I even try to clean it for you guys. It's so old. I've been using it forever, and it is the Tarte. Ooh, I don't even know the name, but if they do still sell it, I will link it in the description box below. And I can use this for my whole face, honestly. So I used the two, obviously you know which ones, the dark brown color and the black color. So I kind of go in first in the very beginning, I mix them. I just dip my brush into both, and in the very beginning, which I'm going to show you right now, I dip it more into the black first because I'm going to start off with making the bottom line all the way shaping my eyebrow basically. And I use a little bit more black for this color, and I basically go right under where my natural hair starts, and I'll do the line there and then go all the way around. And then I'll go back in and dip my brush a little bit more into the black again, and I'll start at the outer end. I just always end up going to this outer end because it needs pretty much the most work. So I'm pretty much letting the brush do the work for me. For that outer line, I'm kind of just working off the top arc where my hair grows, my natural hair is, and then following it down and meeting it at the end point, and I don't want that outer part to be too thick. And when I'm working towards the end, I'm constantly dipping my brush back in just to get it a little bit darker because that's where I want it to be the darkest. And then once I'm finished with that outer part, the end of my eyebrow, I work on the top of my brows. And what I do is whatever remaining on my brush, any product remaining, I'm going to just feather it into my eyebrow in the direction I brushed my hair. And then I'm working on the bottom to kind of blend that upward. And as you can see, there's like a little like sparse area where it's like kind of bald. I did dip my brush a little bit more and I'm kind of filling that in, and I don't want a block brow. I know a lot of people have said like, why don't you fill in your brows completely? And it's because I don't want that block brow because I already have as little hair as possible. So I really want you to still be able to see my hairs, if that kind of makes any sense. So I really don't mind if there's some empty spots. I just don't want to fill it in completely. And then after that, I start working on the front. And what I do is I blend that dark line that I did at the bottom and I blend it upward. And I'm really not adding any product to my brush at this point. I'm kind of just blending upward because I don't want that front really like blocked out, filled in. I want it just kind of feathered and really light. So I'm kind of just blending it upward until I get enough like color on there, and then I'm going to switch brushes. Okay, so the next brush I'm going to use is from Benefit. I believe it's the only one they have. I really like this brush. I mainly use the spoolie when I'm doing it this way, but I do use their angled brush sometimes when I use Eyebrow, because I do switch between the Tarte palette and the Foolproof Pro palette, I believe it's called, which has Eyebrow in it, and that little angled brush works good for that. So I'm going to take the spoolie and I'm going to finish the beginning of my brow, and what I'm doing is I'm kind of just feathering it that color. I'm not really doing anything with the hair. I'm just mainly blending that color out in the first half, and I'm just kind of feathering it so it becomes a lot lighter and not as harsh, and even taking some off a little bit. So since my last brow video, this is this extra step that I added. I use this Makeup Forever. I'm not even sure what it's called, but I know they still have it, and I will link it in the description box below. I actually think it's called a brow eyeliner, something like that. But it's basically, I'm going to use it to kind of make hair-like strokes, and I just use it at the end of my brows because you guys can see that there's hardly any hair there. And of course, on this side, it happens to come out thick and not looking like actual hair strokes. It's just looking like a little bit more filled in, but usually it comes out looking like hair strokes. I really like this product because it lasts a really long time. I don't have any problem with it coming off or anything like that. I don't know if it's waterproof, but it really lasts a long time. And I only use it at the ends. And I'll show you in a second how the other side came out a little bit better than this side, but everybody always thinks that my eyebrows are microbladed because I do this step, and I've really been liking doing this. And then I kind of actually went a little bit out of order, which I'll explain in a second. But for now, I'm going to take this MAC concealer. I've been using it for I don't know how many years. I just really like the texture of it. It's a lot thicker texture. So I'm going to clean up under my brows. This is the brush I use. It is from Coastal Scents. I'm not sure if they still have it, but it's like a super cheap brush. I don't know. You can find these different. I know like Morphe has one. I will link it in the description box. So what I'm going to do is just clean up under my brow, and I do like to do this after I have my eyeshadow on. So I'm basically just following that line that I made in the beginning. I'm just shaping them the way I want and cleaning it up basically, and just to make sure I didn't make any mistakes, or just make sure the line on the bottom is straight. And in the beginning of my brow, I don't put any more product on that brush. I'm just using whatever's left because I don't want a lot of product in that area. So that's why I really take my time in the beginning, because I don't want it to be too messy. And after I get it the way I like, I pull the rest of the concealer downward, and this really helps to blend out your eyeshadow as well. I usually do it with my finger, but since I had my eyelashes on, it wasn't that easy. I usually blend it down with my finger because it helps blend a lot smoother. So sometimes I use Gimme Brow if I might want my brows a little bit darker, but this is a step that I use before the concealer. I don't know how I forgot to do it. I take Benefit's Ready Set Brow to set my brows. This has just been a game changer for me. I love, love, love this product, and I feel like it makes my hairs a little bit more visible. So I just brush it through my hairs in the same direction that I brushed them in the beginning. And it really helps keep them in place too. And that's pretty much it. That's the last step. And I have no problem with my eyebrows like coming off or doing anything. They last all day. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that thumbs up button. And thanks for watching.